So the Google Pixel tablet just released for $499, and you might be wondering how good it is, you might wonder how good the little speaker dock is that comes in the box, and you might wonder how this tablet stacks up against other tablets around $500 as well. So I'm going to give you a full review of this device and compare it to other devices out there so I could let you know if this tablet is worth buying. So with all that being said, let's get right into it and let's talk about the Google Pixel tablet. So Google was really trying to change the game with this tablet. I know there have been speaker docks in the past, but Google really stepped up their game and they wanted to give you a tablet at a reasonable price, but a tablet that you could place in your home that other people could use. There's a lot of great features with this Google Pixel tablet. I really think it is very, very underrated, and there's a lot of tech reviewers out there saying stuff about it that just isn't true, because this tablet is a very good tablet. It's a very good bargain, but it does still have some compromises, so I want to give you the full picture of it. And I want to start off by talking about the design. So there is a really cool thing with the design of this tablet. First off, you do have speakers over here with your USB-C port, and you do have two speakers on the other side of this tablet. Now the power button on the top of the tablet, it is a fingerprint sensor as well. You do have up and down on your volume there, but on the bottom of the tablet, there's this really cool thing. There's these two little feet here, and what they do, they really help the tablet not to slip. So if you do actually plug in your tablet and you actually don't want it to slip, maybe you want to set it on something, your tablet could actually stand up on its own. So I really do like that. Of course, you do have this dock right here, and the goal of this Google Pixel tablet is to be a good tablet in your home, and when you want a little extra sound, maybe you want to dock it in the kitchen, then you could use it sort of like you do a Nest Hub. If you don't know what that does, basically, you could dock it by just lining up the magnets here, and whenever you do that, you'll get something really cool like this, where it will actually show you the time, and you could use it with Google Assistant. So it's going to allow you to really have a cool Nest Hub in your kitchen, or if you put it in a certain place, you could actually have it there to watch movies, and you can even Chromecast things. So this is one of the first tablets that, I'm pretty sure it is the first tablet that has that Chromecast built in. So you could actually cast things from your phone to your tablet. So there are a lot of different features that this tablet has that I like. Another thing is the fingerprint sensor. So the fingerprint sensor is there, which is great, but if you did want to create multiple profiles in the house, so let's say you have a child who wants to use the tablet and maybe your wife wants to use the tablet, or vice versa, whoever wants to use the tablet, they could all have individual profiles and individual home screens, and they could put in separate fingerprints so that whenever they do use their fingerprint, it can actually unlock the tablet and go straight to their profile. Of course, there are going to be minor things that could affect that. I know sometimes if you haven't accessed your tablet for like over a day or so, it may actually require you to put your PIN in manually. So there are going to be some minor things with that, but I'm really impressed. I know profiles have been a part of Android tablets in the past, and a lot of people haven't used them, but a tablet like this that has a hub in the house and then different people could borrow it and put it back on the hub when it's done, it's going to allow you to have one tablet for multiple people and even have separate fingerprints that actually differentiate. So that is a big feature, even if it's not really being talked about a whole lot, even if it's been a part of Android a little bit in the past. I really do like that feature of this tablet. And that's what Google is trying to do here. They're trying to give you a lot of features and make this tablet really unique compared to other tablets. Now, if we go beyond that though, and the features and just the cool design, because I really like it, I do want to say it is a little bland with the bezels, but if you look at the back, it feels very nice. It doesn't feel like a normal aluminum back. It does feel like it's a unique texture. It's a little bit smoother than a typical aluminum back, but it does feel very nice. But it's not a super crazy design because there are bezels that might annoy you that the bezels are as big as they are. But honestly, I like having bezels to hold onto with a tablet. But outside of that, you have to look at the display and the performance. Those things are going to really tell you how good a tablet is. And I do think that the display is very good. So the screen on this tablet is a 10.95-inch screen with a 2560 by 1600 resolution. Now I was noticing it had a little bit of an orangish tint to the display, and I was wondering why that was. And I did find out that Google actually allows it to change the color temperature based on the room that you're in, and you can turn that setting off if you don't want it to do that. But it's got about 500 nits of brightness. I don't know why it was made such a big deal in these reviews that it's not bright enough. That's pretty normal for tablets. Like, that's what the Galaxy Tab S8 is. I believe it's right around 500 nits. It's what the OnePlus Pad is. So this is going to have similar brightness to other tablets around this price, and that's going to do just fine. As far as how it looks, it's very, very color accurate, but I don't like the 60 Hz refresh rate. But Google is always known to be a wizard in a lot of ways with their software. Like, the animations are so smooth on Google Pixel devices. So when you look at the software and the animations here, you are going to see that it's fairly smooth. So whenever you do actually pull up your app drawer, for example, you see how smooth that is whenever I pull it up. So you don't even notice, for example, that it's a 60 Hz refresh rate there. Now, the one other thing we have to look at is performance. And it really grinds my gears. It really does annoy me when there's other reviewers out there that are saying that the processor in this might be underclocked. It just feels a little bit slower. But whenever you look at the actual footage of those reviewers, whenever you look at my footage, you're going to see that this tablet feels very, very smooth. In fact, I would argue that the animations in this tablet make it look and feel even smoother than a lot of other devices out there. So the performance on this is amazing. It is a Tensor G2 processor, and that is pretty good. I know there's saying, oh, but it's a Tensor G2, it's not quite as fast as this or that. The Tensor G2 is a very good flagship chip that should not be discounted. I understand that it's not quite as good as the latest Snapdragon processor, but this processor does fly through pretty much anything that I'm doing, and the Google Pixel software makes the animations very, very good. You also get 8 GB of RAM in this tablet for a lot of great multitasking. So what this tablet is, if you look at it, right, a flagship tablet is going to have an AMOLED display with 120 Hz. This tablet will have pretty much everything else that a flagship tablet is going to have. It just won't have AMOLED and it won't have 120 Hz, but it's going to have a really good screen, again, in my opinion, better than the Galaxy Tab S8. It's going to have very, very fast performance. I would argue it's flagship performance on this tablet, but again, it might not be quite as fast as the absolutely latest and greatest with that Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor, but it's going to be very, very close. The animations are very smooth. Everything that I'm doing when I'm multitasking, going back and forth, this really does fly through pretty much everything. And I do have to say this about the hub. The speakers on it are actually very, very impressive. They are very loud in my opinion. I know some people have said they're a little quiet, they don't add that much sound, and maybe they're comparing it to like Google's $200 or $300 speakers, or maybe even Google's $100 speaker. I'm not really sure where they're getting that from, but in my experience, when you add the tablet to the dock, you're going to experience a much louder sound. It's just really impressive how much it could fill a room. And I was just listening to a podcast casually, just put it on the dock, and all of a sudden I could hear very full sound, much, much louder, with a lot of bass added. So it can really add to your experience with your tablet, especially if you keep this dock somewhere close. But it's nice that you do get it in the box, and it does really add to the whole experience. So when you look at this tablet, it's not giving you a flagship tablet. It's not giving you the best of the best, but it's giving you a very close to the best of the best. In almost every category, it's very, very close. So in my opinion, this goes neck and neck with the OnePlus Pad. It goes neck and neck with the Galaxy Tab S8. If you're someone who wants an S Pen, for example, you really want a stylus, well, you can use USI styluses, by the way, with this. That's really, really nice. So if you want a USI stylus, a USI 2.0 stylus will work with this tablet. So you can actually use styluses. I'm sure some other accessories are going to be coming out in the future for it, but you can find those styluses on Amazon. I will have links in the description for some that should work. But even though styluses work with this tablet, and they work with the OnePlus Pad, you might want a stylus that actually comes with your tablet. If that's the case, if you want that higher refresh rate, maybe you want Samsung DeX so you could have that laptop-like environment with productivity and everything like that, then yes, the Galaxy Tab S8 might be a better option for you. But in the end, I think this stacks up really, really well with all of them. It's not the best tablet. It doesn't have the best battery life. It doesn't have the best processor out of all tablets, but it's pretty darn close. The battery life, again, is pretty darn close. The screen is really, really good, and it's pretty darn close. So this is not a mid tablet or an average tablet. It's a really good tablet that is almost flagship level, and they're charging a very reasonable price for it in the US and adding a really cool speaker dock. And if you're someone who loves Google Pixel software, you really love that experience, I really think you're gonna like this tablet a whole lot. Now there are some minor things to consider. I will say the software is not perfect yet. Google is still trying to really make tablets better as far as their ecosystem. I know Samsung, if there are some apps that are really, really small, maybe they were made for phones. There are some apps that are made just for phones and then they try to stretch them out for tablets. Google does not really stretch out a lot of those apps. Those apps, they typically just leave in that smaller form factor, and you could just tap on each side of the screen to just bounce the app around if you want it on the left or the right. But it might annoy you that they don't have the option to stretch out those apps at this time. It also might annoy you that some apps actually aren't even available on this tablet. So I noticed that the Best Buy app is very, very poorly optimized for tablets. Samsung often stretches it out, or you have the ability to stretch it out if you go in and manually force it to be stretched out into full screen. But this tablet doesn't have those extra options. And not only that, but it actually can't even install the Best Buy app. So I think there still are a few apps that are missing, and they maybe have to work on the actual tablet before it's actually going to be optimized for those apps. But don't let that scare you, because that's a very, very small, minuscule amount of apps that are missing. Every single big app that I actually wanted to use outside of Best Buy, I can't even really think of any other apps that weren't on there. I think there was one banking app, like the Bank of America app, and I also think Best Buy. Those were the only apps that I actually noticed. So that's not really a big issue. So overall, I love it. I love the UI. I love the screen. I think the screen is great. The performance is so buttery smooth. I absolutely love it. So if you compare everything with this tablet to the competition, it's a really, really strong competitor. And if you see this tablet on sale, it's going to be a steal of a deal. So check the links in the description for sales, because that's terrific. But even at the retail price, if you're comparing this with the OnePlus Pad with the Tab S8, I think this and the OnePlus Pad are going to be the best values that are out. And for only $500 to come with this speaker, I think it's a tremendous buy. I would highly recommend this tablet. And honestly, I'm not sure which tablet I'm going to keep, because I did get a great sale on this OnePlus Pad whenever I got it. But I do plan to really try them out and actually do some comparisons with them. So stay tuned to my channel for that. Like and subscribe to it. It really does mean a lot. And check the links in the description. That's a great way to support my channel. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. Again, check out some other content if you get a little bit of time. And I hope you have a tremendous day and a tremendous week.